Okay, dear student, today we are going to learn about a circular motion. There are so many examples of a circular motion in our day life. For example, motion of blades of a fan, motion of tip of a hands of a clock, motion of electron around the nucleus, motion of satellite around the planet, merry-go-round. These are the examples of circular motion. From these examples, suppose this tip of a clock perform a circular motion. That means this tip is moved along the circumference of a circle. Electron perform circular motion. That means this electron move along the circumference of a circle. So we can say motion of an electron, or tip of a hand or an object along the circumference of a circle. Motion of an object along the circumference of a circle is called circular motion. Again I repeat the definition of circular motion. Motion of an object along the circumference of a circle is called circular motion. Take an example of clock with 4 positions, that is 12, 3, 6 and 9. Suppose tip at position 12, then direction of tangential velocity for clockwise is like this. When tip at position 3, then direction of tangential velocity is like this, and direction of tangential velocity at position 6 and 9 respectively. So from this figure it is clear that direction of tangential velocity goes on changing at every instant of a time. So tangential velocity goes on changing and acceleration is produced. So circular motion is a accelerated motion. This is the first characteristic. When tip at a position 12, then it moves along the circumference of a circle and completes one revolution. After completion, it repeats the same trajectory after equal interval of a time. So motion which repeats after equal interval of a time along the same trajectory is called a periodic motion. So circular motion is a periodic motion. So there is 2 characteristics of a circular motion. First is circular motion is an accelerated motion, and circular motion is a periodic motion. In 11th standard, we study that suppose particle perform a circular motion with center O as shown in the figure, and suppose A is position of a particle at any time, then this position is joined with the center with a vector. So vector joining a vector drawn from center of a circle to the position of a particle. A vector drawn from center of a circle to the position of a particle is called radius vector, and this radius vector describes some angle in a given time, that is when it goes from A to B in a small time, it describes some angle. Such an angle is called angular displacement. So theta is a angular displacement. Okay, and when this angular displacement changes with the time, that is rate of change of angular displacement, rate of change of angular displacement is called angular velocity. And when this angular velocity changes with the time, a rate of change of angular velocity is called angular acceleration. So angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration, these are the quantities in a circular motion, and these quantities are analogous to the displacement, linear velocity and acceleration in a linear motion. This angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration are analogous to the displacement, velocity and acceleration in a circular motion. Then in 11th standard we have studied some relation. The relation between linear displacement and angular displacement, relation between linear velocity and angular velocity, and relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. So first relation is the linear displacement and angular displacement is like this. Relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is like this, and relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration is like this. These relations derive in 11th standard. The linear velocity is also called tangential velocity because its direction always tangential to the circle. This tangential velocity changes, so such an acceleration obtained is called tangential acceleration. This is the tangential acceleration and this is the linear velocity. In only magnitude, we written as v equals to omega r, and tangential acceleration is alpha r or r alpha. You can say also r alpha. So these are the magnitudes. Angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration, these are the vector quantities, and vector quantities determined by a direction, and direction of linear velocity, angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration is determined by right hand rule. Right hand rule is a curl the fingers of right hand in the sense of rotation. Curl the fingers of right hand in the sense of rotation and outstretch the thumb. Outstretch the thumb. This outstretched thumb gives the direction of angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration. That is, its direction is along the axis of rotation. That is, it is perpendicular to the plane of a circle. Again I repeat, the direction of angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration is determined by right hand rule. Curl the fingers of right hand in the sense of rotation and outstretch the thumb. The outstretched thumb gives the direction of angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration. Its direction is along the axis of rotation, that is perpendicular to the plane of a circle. The circular motion is two types. One is uniform circular motion and other is non-uniform circular motion. There are two types of circular motion. First one is uniform circular motion and other is non-uniform circular motion. Okay, so uniform circular motion means what? A motion of an object along the circumference of a circle with a constant linear speed. Motion of an object along the circumference of a circle with a constant linear speed is called uniform circular motion. In a uniform circular motion, direction of tangential velocity goes on changing at every instant. Therefore, centripetal or radial acceleration is produced due to change in direction of tangential velocity. A centripetal or radial acceleration is produced which act toward the center of a circle and along the radius. This centripetal or a radial acceleration is responsible for a uniform circular motion and produced due to change in direction of a tangential velocity. Other is non-uniform circular motion. Motion of an object along the circumference with a variable speed or a changing speed. This speed is increases or decreases is called non-uniform circular motion. This speed is increases or decreases, that means magnitude of a tangential velocity changes. Magnitude of change in magnitude of tangential velocity changes. So non-uniform circular motion is due to change in magnitude of tangential velocity or due to tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration is responsible for a non-uniform circular motion, and in a non-uniform circular motion, a resultant acceleration is a resultant of centripetal acceleration as well as tangential acceleration. The resultant of centripetal acceleration and tangential acceleration is responsible for a non-uniform circular.
Today we discuss about a time period. When a particle performs uniform circular motion, it moves with a constant linear speed. In one revolution, it completes a distance equals to circumference. So, we can define a time period as time required for a particle to complete one revolution is called its time period, and distance of one revolution is called a circumference. Therefore, time period equals to circumference upon linear speed. Circumference upon linear speed. In notation, T equals to 2 pi r upon P, but V equals to omega r. So substitute this value in this equation, we get T equals to 2 pi r upon omega r. So here r and r is cancelled, so T equals to 2 pi by omega. This is the relation for time period. And frequency is number of revolutions made by the particle per second in UCM is called frequency. Frequency is in UCM number of revolutions made by the particle per second, and time period is time required to complete one revolution. Therefore, frequency is the reciprocal of time period. So we can write here n equals to 1 by t. When I put the value of time period here, we get n equals to omega upon 2 pi. Therefore, omega equals to 2 pi n. This is another equation. So, this is the time period and this is the frequency. Okay, our next topic is a centripetal force. As we see, circular motion, the necessity acceleration is centripetal acceleration or radial acceleration. For a circular motion, necessary acceleration is centripetal or radial. So a force which provides such an acceleration, that is centripetal or radial, is called centripetal force. Centripetal means it acts along the radius and toward the center of a circle. So I am writing here, centripetal force is a inward force, that is it acts toward the center of a circle, towards the center of a circle and along the radius, it is a resultant of all real forces acting on a body. It is a resultant of all real forces. It produces UCM or a circular motion. It produces UCM and experience in an inertial frame of a reference. So, centripetal force is defined as a force which provides a centripetal or a radial acceleration is called centripetal force, or a force which acts toward the center of a circle and along the radius is also called centripetal force. It is a resultant of all real forces acting on a body and it produces UCM and exists or experience in a inertial frame of a reference. It is given by centripetal force equals to minus m omega square r. This is in a vector form. In magnitude, we can write F equals to m omega square r or m v square by r or m omega v. These are the different forms in a magnitude. Visualize you are on the merry-go-round rotating uniformly. Merry-go-round rotating uniformly. Merry-go-round perform a circular motion, but we feel that we are not performing circular motion and we are only at rest. To explain this, we need another force which is equals to centripetal force and oppositely directed. To maintain a uniform circular motion, we need a force which is not real, which is a non-real. We have to explain this existence. So such a force is called centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is equal and opposite to the centripetal force. Therefore, it acts away from the center. Away from the center, but along the radius. It acts away from the center but along the radius. It is a pseudo force. It is a pseudo force. We have to need, therefore it is called a pseudo force. Non-real thing. It is a non-real but not imaginary. It is a pseudo force. You can say non-real force but not imaginary force. It maintains UCM. It maintain UCM. For maintenance of circular motion, there is need to explain a force which is called a centrifugal force, and this is arises due to accelerated frame of a reference. This is in a accelerated frame of a reference. In vector form, it is written as F equal to m omega square r, and in magnitude of centripetal or centrifugal force are same, that is F equals to m omega square r or m v square by r or F equals to m omega v. So magnitude of centripetal and centrifugal force are same, and this is the difference between centripetal force and centrifugal force. Okay, our next topic is banking of a road. So there are two types of a road. One is plain road and other is bank road. So plain road means what? Suppose this is a plain road. Here it is a outer edge and this is a inner edge. So these are two edges of a road, and if these two edges are kept at the same level, the level of outer edge as well as inner edge is same, then this is called a plane surface of a road. But if outer edge and this is a inner edge, suppose this outer edge is raised, this outer edge is raised and make some angle with the horizontal, make some angle with horizontal. So such a road is called a bank road. Here the outer edge is raised certain heights. So process of raising a outer edge to the inner edge, a process of raising the outer edge over inner edge at a suitable angle with the horizontal is called banking of a road. And angle between surface of a road and horizontal, this angle between, this is a surface of a road and this horizontal is called angle of banking or banking angle. Banking of a road means what? A process of raising the outer edge over inner edge through a suitable angle with the horizontal is called banking of a road. And angle through which the surface of a road is banked with the horizontal is called angle of banking or banking angle. So why there is necessity to bank the road? Suppose a vehicle is moving along a horizontal curved road. Suppose this is a horizontal curved road and vehicle is moving along such a road. So necessary force for a circular motion is a centripetal force. Consider a vehicle is moving along a plane or horizontal curved road. For a circular motion, necessary force or necessary acceleration is a centripetal force. This centripetal force is provided by a frictional force. Provided by frictional force. Frictional force means tire and the road surface is get rubbed with each other and produces a frictional force. But this frictional force is not constant. Its value changes as the road surface is not uniform. Therefore, this value is not uniform and changes with the condition. So, it is not a reliable force. Therefore, this does not balance with a centripetal force and vehicle skidding and accidents are happen. To avoid this, this frictional force is to make independent as far as possible as far as possible, roads are bank. So this is the necessity. Again I repeat, when a vehicle is moving along a bank road, along a unbanked road, then for a circular motion, necessary force is a centripetal force, and this centripetal force provided by frictional force. This frictional force has some upper limit. After that, it cannot be increases. It has some upper limit, and its value is not constant as road surface is not uniform, changes with the condition. It is not a reliable force. To make it reliable, the roads are bank. Okay. Then our next topic is maximum speed along a unbanked road. Suppose a vehicle of mass m moving along a curved horizontal road or a plain road of radius of curvature r and moving with a maximum speed Vmax. Consider a vehicle moving along a curved horizontal road of mass m and radius of curvature r with a maximum speed Vmax. At center of a gravity of a vehicle, two forces are acting. First one is weight of a vehicle always act downward. Weight of a vehicle always act downward, and other is normal reaction. This normal reaction in upward direction, and third one is a frictional force, static frictional force between tires and surface of the road. At center of gravity, number of forces act on the vehicle, or you can say car, are first one is weight of a vehicle, that is mg. This act vertically downward, and normal reaction along upward, and third force is frictional force or a force of friction. This is along the road. This weight balances the normal reaction, so we can write here mg equals to n, and this friction force is toward the center of a force. This is towards the center of a circle. Therefore, this frictional force provided a centripetal force. Frictional force provided the centripetal force, that is mv square by r, or you can also write mr omega square, anyone. I am writing only mv square by r. So this is the frictional force. But frictional force has a upper limit, and for upper limit the maximum speed is fs max, maximum upper limit mv square by r. And at this stage, this centripetal force is balances the weight of a vehicle, or you can say normal reaction. So maximum force is given by fs max equals to mu n, where mu is a coefficient of friction and n is replaced by mg because n equals to mg. Therefore, maximum or upper limit of a frictional force is mu mg, and maximum frictional force provided a centripetal force. So from this equation we can write here mv square max by r equals to mu mg. On simplifying, m and m cancel, v square max equals to mu rg. Therefore, v max equals to under root mu rg. So this is the maximum speed on a plain horizontal road or a plain curved horizontal road. Again I repeat, consider a vehicle of mass m moving along a plain or horizontal curved road with maximum speed limit Vmax and radius of curvature r. At center of gravity of the vehicle, three forces act on it. First one is weight of a vehicle act vertically downward and normal reaction in upward direction, and third is a frictional force along the surface of a road. This weight of a vehicle balances normal reaction, so we can write mg equals to n, and this frictional force is toward the center of a circle. That means frictional force provided centripetal force, but the frictional force has a upper limit. At upper limit, the velocity is become the maximum. So upper limit of a frictional force or a frictional maximum force equals to mv square by r, and at this upper limit frictional force equals to mu n. Mu is a coefficient of static friction and n equals to mg. So from these two equation, mv square by r equals to mu mg, and on simplifying we get V max equals to under root mu r